Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to Young Titan World again. This is not a review, much more like a pouring out my soul kind of thing. I've been hurt by love so many times that thinking about it or even pursuing it makes me feel scared about the outcome. The people that I've met, whether they were considered as angels by their friends, whether it seemed like they were in the worst possible situation, there's always that moment in time where everything pivots and it seems like I'm the one at a disadvantage. I'm going to tell you a story and you can make of it what you will. But it seems like from then on, every single one that I could even claim to have an interest for either is already in a relationship with someone else, or I do not have the guts to chase after them. Now, these are really bare emotions and feelings, and you have the option to be real rude or as scrutinous as you please. But I'm going to be straightforward and say that these are feelings that have been there since the very beginning. And you could say some of it is dead and long gone and I'm only numb inside. So it doesn't even matter anymore. But anyways, first time that I did feel love, or at least did fall in love, was with a girl in high school. Not junior high school. I mean, the whole system for us is different. So I fell in love with her. But I was a kid, so I had no idea how to, patrol this new set of emotions that I had. Definitely too juvenile for me to even classify it as actual feelings or actual emotions. So what I did was that I would shower her with gifts in the attempt that she would acknowledge those feelings as genuine and she would reciprocate, since I wasn't really good with words or anything. So I decided that I was going to use that format as a way to get through to her. So every time that my dad would buy me snacks, I would put them in my bag. I wouldn't eat them. I'd hide them somewhere. I remember I got this idea from my brother. What he would do is that he would hide his snacks inside our dad's car in an attempt to not be even tempted to eat them. Whilst he did that, I noticed and I was like, okay, I want to join in on the fun too. But mine wasn't so that I could have more for me, but I could have more for her. So I'd stack up these snacks until we reached our day, which was basically the last day of school. After that comes vacation. And I really wanted to impress this girl. So I would take up all the snacks that I'd saved up and then I'd go give it to her. I don't know if it was her kind-heartedness or it was just basically being too overwhelmed with gifts that she needed to give it to someone else. But when she noticed that I'd gotten all of these snacks for her, she chose to give it to other people in the classroom. Now, I was against it. I wanted her to take it all, but she chose to share it among her friends, or at least her friends, because those weren't my friends. She was the only person that I had eyes for, and I was more of an incel and an introvert mixed together to make a very potent potion. But I was just going along with what she said, or at least what she offered, and we ended up giving it to some of the people in our classroom, and it really made me still feel a little bit weird because I only wanted to share with you, and you decided to share with the whole class. And as time went on, the class saw us together most of the times. Either we're sitting on the same chair, or at least the same desk. I don't even know what I'm supposed to call them. There were these really tiny chairs and tables that we're supposed to sit on as kids, or at least when we got higher, we used desks. But the desks were combined, so we were sitting together, at least a pair, two people on one desk every time. And so that there were all this crazy talk inside the classroom about how we were actually dating. And there was even one time that they tried to force her on me as I was sleeping on the desk, and she kind of hurt herself when they tried to do that. And I really loved even those rumors, those things that weren't true, because I liked her so much, I wanted to believe it all. And then came Osmond, some other guy. Apparently, they were spending more time together than they were with me. And the thing was, I was tiny. I was a little bug, and he was this big guy with a mold on his face. And if that is what girls consider attractive, maybe I'm not into girls, because I don't get how a black spot on a guy's face makes him more attractive. But that's what he had, and I guess that's why they liked him. I could have thought of 100 reasons why I hated the guy. His hair wasn't even black. His body was built like Danny DeVito in his younger years. I found every reason to hate that guy, okay? And I wanted to stand by it. But then it was going around that she and the mode guy were spending so much time together, and it hurt me. It hurt me very much. I didn't know what to do. But it seems like I was still in her inner circle, but it's just that the rumors had switched up. And I remember one particular moment where we're in this time where there was this candy, or there are these there was this little tiny candy that popped in your mouth. And the thing is that it came along with a tattoo, not like a permanent tattoo, but temporary ones. And she loved them. She loved these kind of sweets that had the tattoos on them. So she would buy them, and then she would put the tattoos on herself. I kind of figured, oh, wow, okay. You are definitely not what my parents want. Because, they're basically like inbred Christians. So, wait, what? They are Christians, okay? Just solid Christians. And if they see me with a girl with a tattoo, they will have their concerns. I don't know how I'm going to explain Billie Eilish to them, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Anyways, so she gets this sweet that pops in your mouth, and she puts on the tattoo. Now, if she put it on her wrist, if she put it on her neck, it would have been really cool, but she decides to put it on her thigh. Now, no one can see it except her. And the thing was, when she put it on, she showed it to me. And that ignited a new set of emotion that I've never... I was a kid by that time, so you've got to bear with me that I had no idea that porn was a thing, that, masturbation was a thing, lust was a thing. I was just like in there, just looking at the thigh, just being mesmerized. I was like, whoa, this is beyond words. And she's like super fair, like she's so fair in complexion. So that shit's pretty as fuck. Like light skinned, but so good. And I I did not know how rebellious she was, but there was one thing that really drew me to her. And that was what was like her nails. I saw that her nails had been pulled out. Like I don't know what exactly, whether it happened when she was a kid, whether they never grew. But I always noticed that her fingernails were missing. They weren't there. And I would always look at it and just be like fascinated. So she was really like a topic of absolute wonder for me. And having her was like the most interesting to happen to my high school life. Everything was just like faded into the background. But this happiness, or at least this bliss with being with her, was short lived. Because at the end of it, I then realized that she's leaving. She doesn't tell me about it till she's actually gone. There's just this one moment in time where I see her at a bus stop and I'm not even able to say hi to her because I'm such a little wimp. At least back then I was. And so I don't hear anything. I don't see her come to class for like a couple of weeks. And then I'm just pondering, when is she coming back? When is she coming back? But then I hear from one of her friends that she has traveled to Italy. And it's different. I found myself like just plummeting. Not only in there, but also in academics. It's like I lost my interest in studying, in looking good, in trying to get her snacks. It just all halted, and I just couldn't feel anything at all. I thought it would be much better if I just drowned myself in just staring into the void. I mean, for a kid, I was really grim. I used to just like go up to the very top floor of our school and just stare at the bottom and wonder what it would be like to jump off there. Yeah, and I probably was around 12 at the time. So yeah, probably intense a little bit. And we also have this thing where my brother went through all the teachers that I got the pleasure of meeting, meaning that in that classroom, when I lost this girl, the teacher at the time was someone who knew my brother, my elder brother. And my elder brother is a straight A student. He's perfection beyond doubt. I'm in this classroom and I'm barely struggling to make it to a higher position. And they keep track of everything. There's the first and there's the 30th person. And at first I was like in the 13th position. When she left, I went straight down to 26th. Man, I was on top of 4 people in the classroom. And it was just, I couldn't understand it. But now I remember that the emotional toll it had on me when I lost her was so much that studying seemed so trivial at that point. It's like it was of no consequence to me. And that was when my dad also threatened to send me to government school, because that was a private school. And he said if I don't do well, I'm going to go there. And maybe I didn't care, or maybe I did, but I didn't know exactly how to pick myself up again. And I didn't know how to explain this to anyone. It's like, oh, the girl that I liked so much is gone, and now I have no reason to go into that fucking classroom anymore. So it was a lot to consider back then. So I didn't consider it. I didn't think about it at all. I didn't have anyone to share it with. So, I just stuck to lying to people who were my close friends, and I couldn't really call them best friends because at a certain point in time, when I do anything to hurt their feelings or say something rude, they would end up abandoning me and going to another group of friends and telling them all about me so that they can laugh too. So it really did feel like a very lonely moment, and it did not feel great. Now that's the first girl. There's one that's like an intermediary, but she was just like either way out of my league or my mind wasn't there. It's more like my mind was more open to having fun with her than being in a relationship with her. But yeah, she was not. She was not really someone that I found love in. So fast track, I leave that school because my parents moved to a different part of the country so that they can find a job to take care of the family, and most especially my dad. So we moved in with my dad after staying with my grandparents for a while. It seems great and everything. Staying with my grandparents was another phase that just tore me apart even further because staying with my grandparents meant that I was to be checked. I was supposed to help them with their poultry farm, help them with their actual farm. They had a maize farm, they had goats. So, and early in the morning, you would have to wake up and sweep their compound and sweep their gutter. You had to make sure that you do all of those things before it was time for school. So that was also another tall order. And they would always wake you up and breakfast and everything. And it was just weird for me because there was always this aura in there that made me scared because I always had to look like I was doing the right thing. When I wake up early in the morning, the first thing I want to do is turn on the TV to Viasat 1. And they loved showing cartoons early in the morning. I don't know if it was torture or it was to motivate kids to get up from bed early, but they definitely did that for kids. And so we would wake up, or at least that would be on weekends actually. And it was, I don't know, I think it was slow torture because that's the time where they'd also pile up work on you. Wash your school uniform, wash your other clothes, dry them, do other chores around the house. It was a nightmare. So it came to the time that we actually got the opportunity to go stay with our dad. And I didn't think twice about it, because I felt as if there was nothing waiting for me. The school was nothing. My friends, the people that were there, on a scale, they meant less to me. So it was okay to let them go. So I let them go. I left. I went there to the new place and I thought I was able to start new. Problem is, we're going into a much more local part of the country where everyone is fluent in vernacular on a level that I do not even have. Now you see, the first part of the country that I was, where I lost the first love of my life, was one populated by those who spoke one language. Now, the next place that I got to was an alternate one. It was similar but different. If I spoke place one, or at least region one, at where region two is, they would either get confused, have no idea what I'm talking about, or even say I'm speaking their language wrong. But yeah, it's between Chi and Ewa. Chi and Fanti. Those are the two languages. They sound similar, but there are certain intonations or accents that you would pick up that are not similar. And it's kind of like one is a little bit more liquid and one is more rigid. At least that's more than I can say. So yeah, I moved there. It's hard to adjust. I find a pair of friends there, but they also don't mean anything to me. I mean, I see the most prettiest girl in the classroom, but it's only because her fashion sense is weird. And I was also in my teenage phase, and the fact that she had a short skirt with a really thick band, just, I don't know. I think I just wanted to smash her rather than be involved in a relationship with her. But there was a fence around her, and the fence was named Gozo. Like, I've never heard a more intimidating name in my entire life. I mean, not only the fact that he looked scary, his name was scary, and it looked like he was rich, and it looked like he was an old man. And I, and he had the girl that looked most prettiest. At least she had this sort of Tweety Bird head shape, but she was cute no less. She was cute no less. I mean, like, you've got to give it to them when you were in a classroom filled with girls who had to like shave their heads because it's not allowed for them to grow their hair out. So they have these short hairs, but they're still looking good. They're still looking good, so it's great. And it's weird. Okay, it's weird to be in such a classroom where you don't have anyone to be friends with and everyone thinks you're more of an outsider. So first time that we get there, I placed fifth in the classroom. And I got a little bit cocky and started voicing out these crazy assumptions about what I'm gonna do. It's like, why is that guy first and stuff like that. Yeah, I was really, my ego got the best of me back then, and then I kind of like shot back to 13, and it was weird. I guess I wanted to prove to myself that I wasn't dumb. Or at least I've been holding back in my old school, and that was proof, at least for me. I didn't want it to get into my parents' head that I was really good. I was always the kind of guy who wanted to stay under the radar because I always felt like if you get caught by them being smart, getting first to third place, then they're gonna put more pressure on you. It's like you're supposed to be the best. And I am not the person who likes putting too much energy. It's like, too much energy, too much energy. I'll probably just like, I'll tank. I'll just tank. I'll lose my mind. I'll go mad. And it's true, but they don't really see it when I scream whilst I'm walking on my way back home. So back to the story. I get there, no friends, scary guys protecting the prettiest girl in the classroom. I decide that I'm not gonna put my love interest in anyone. So fast forward, I get into senior high school. The place is quaint, it's cool. I try to live the low-key life again, but obviously I can't. I apply for general arts. I just want general arts, but I don't get general arts. In fact, I get sent to the science class. Now, I know it's a mistake. I rush to the administration, try to change it, and it turns out that my dad wants me to do science. And I'm like, oh no, brother, I don't want that. That is too much. Why are you doing this to me? I just want general arts. It's simpler. I could read Shakespeare, perform a play, go for dancing, just live a little because I'm sick and tired of everything. And I want to direct all these emotions that I'm not able to, convert into anything else. Just pour them out somewhere. But no, we got sent to science, and science is chemistry, physics, crazy shit. But I walk into that classroom and I've set my eyes on the prettiest girl in the world, and she is just stunning, blinding. She's so pretty. I fall in love with her instantly, absolutely, 100%, day one. And it's the hardest crush yet because I remember that day so clearly. When I got into that classroom, I sat in a row behind her. I tried to say something smart, just so that she can get I can get her attention, and I blow it up and I say something stupid, and then she just finds it awkward and she no longer talks to me, and it hurts. But I gotta go on and hope to God that I can redeem myself. And then we decided we're gonna do intros before the teacher comes along. And I'm no motivational speaker, or at least I am, and I don't know it, because when I went to stand there, I started talking, they realized that my accent was a little bit ish. It was on a spectrum that they hadn't seen before, so they were a little bit mesmerized. But I was just saying basic shit: don't give up, try your best, blah blah blah. And they're like, "Oh my God, clap for him! He sounds like an absolute great guy." Yeah, that's because I wanted to do general arts. I wanted to do Shakespeare, for crying out loud. But no, I was renounced, or I had to renounce my claim to the general arts throne and give it to someone else, someone there cast for it. I had to relinquish my throne to him. I would have dominated the general arts class. I'm telling you, that place would have been my sanctuary, my kingdom. And I was resorted to being a beggar in the science class, and it was so fucking annoying. So we get introduced to our new teachers. The one that I really liked was my social studies and my English teacher, or at least that was before. I mean, there was Miss Priscilla. She was amazing. She was amazing-ish. It's just she really. It's like she wanted to fuck everyone. She sounded so sexy, it felt wrong. And she was old too, so it's like, oh, no. No way, man. No way, man. I don't think I was into MILFs then, because that was definitely not me. I definitely didn't see it that way. At least now I'm just telling jokes about it, but back then I just saw her as this really interesting woman. I really respected her because I really liked the fact that she was trying so much to get our accents to work, and I kind of liked that. And I liked the fact that she was always trying to find someone to read in the classroom. And I always wanted to be the person to read in the classroom. If I was going to have a stake in anything in that classroom, I was going to be the one who did it. Like, especially if we came to English and shit. And so we do that. But then she gets annoyed that I'm too involved in English, and so she tries to find other people. She abandons me too. Fuck. And so my love interest is just, we put that on ice because we don't really have any smooth words to say. We're not really great at, being smooth. Usually I'm the coarse kind that, completely is honest on the very first day. And they're too weirded out by my honesty that they run away. So we're going through high school. I mean, it's a boarding school, and there's all these opportunities to just be the best version of yourself, be chaotic, be crazy, because your parents are not going to be able to see it. Unless, of course, they go call home about your very unconductly behavior. Of course, I don't really ever get that. I mean, there was that one time where I came back to school late, and I was caught by the watchman, and they sent me to one of the teachers. But I don't really get punished. I don't get punished because technically I am a good kid. I'm a good kid. Like, I've got the good kid vibe on for such a long time that even when the teacher saw me, it's like, oh my God, how can you do this to yourself? You've let us down. But have mercy on this child. He didn't mean it. He's definitely not even fit to be in a gang. They would kick him out the moment they see him. Anyways, so they kind of like, they let me go. But there were those who were interested in me. Now, before I go on with this, I'd like to say that, yes, there are parts of this where it may feel like it's a lie. Now, I would wish that were true. That way I wouldn't even have to tell it. But these are the accounts. So, there is a girl who's interested in me. She's a senior. She says I look like her little brother. That is sweet. And then she tries to twerk on me whilst we're on entertainment night on a Saturday. It kind of freaks me out. Would you really do that with your little brother? Because I was tiny. She was huge. She was huge. I think that probably is that slope, or at least that was the onset of my interest in MILFs or something. No, but she was young too. I'm assuming she was at least 20. No, she was 18. I'm thinking she was huge. She was huge. Huger than me, man. Like, talking to her would be like looking at the ceiling and making conversation. Okay, I kid you not. All right. But anyways, yeah, she was interested in me. And not only her, like there are these girls who were seniors that liked me. One of them even got me a full mathematical set and was like, oh, wow. That shit's expensive. Why would you buy that for a total stranger? But anyways, they did it. And I don't know. Between me and our class, I would say that we were K-pop stars. Let me explain. Now, Science 1, Science 2, we were basically the smallest group or smallest class groups, or at least the most noted because of the things that we accomplished or the people in our classroom. There was a person there who had a twin, but the twin wasn't in the classroom. We had a guy called Frank, probably the smartest man on planet. If he was with Einstein probably could have explained all of his theories. And I'm telling you, they probably would have invented a time machine right now because Frank is straight up genius level intellect on a scale that is hitherto undreamt of. All right. So the classroom is just filled with superstars, superstars. Everyone's a smart psycho in there, and there's a lot of attention in our class. And so there's a lot of expectations as well. The very thing that I was trying to avoid. It's like I'm in this class of titans and everyone's proving their shit, but I'm holding back because I'm like, I don't want to do this. But I still get dragged into it anyway, okay? In sports, we have someone who covers that. In science and math quizzes, like pretty much 50% of the team came from our classroom. Like when it came to debate, I was the one who had to spearhead it, even though it was like an overnight thing. They're just like, hey, you want to be part of a debate? I was like, okay. But they didn't even give me a chance to think about it. And then boom. I mean, I lost. I lost. And yeah, the person who came after me, I don't know. It kind of made me think that debates only are won by those who speak last, because then they can augment their speech in a way that convinces people, that in a way that is really great. But I guess, to be honest with you, I didn't cover a lot of ground when it came to my argument. The only thing that I was vouching for was my accent and how I was going to sway the crowd. I was like, oh, he speaks like that, oh my God. Yeah, but that was really cool. That was the first time that I got to speak in front of a crowd, and it was like our entire dining hall filled with people, and I was freaking out. But I was also like excited. It's like, this is the first time I'm speaking into a mic. I didn't know, am I supposed to go closer? Am I supposed to go far away from the mic? I just didn't know what to do, but I did it anyways, and it was so much fun. It was so much fun. The girl that I said I was interested in, yeah, shining like the sun, still there. Still, she's also really good in class too. She's got IQs for days. And I want to tell her I like her, but I'm too scared to do that in person. So what I do is that I send her a Facebook message telling her how I feel. I'm all there pouring out my emotions on Facebook. God damn it, Zuckerberg read that shit before it even got to her, man. Oh my God. And it wasn't even that smooth. It was just explaining how I felt about her. But she said she wanted to focus on school and that she didn't want that to be a distraction. Now, as any level-headed, good guy kind of kid, I let it go. I was respectful for those emotions until I saw her walking across the park with some dude from first year. Let me say that again. She was walking across the park with a dude from first year. How do I know? Word travels fast. I'm a guy who brokers information, kind of like my shtick, just so that I don't get nothing gets me by surprise. So we heard that she and some guy who just got into the school and was in like Form 1, he was getting cozy with her. He was getting jiggy with her. I was like, what? How dare you go after my bitch? At least that's what I was thinking. And I don't know whether it's true or not, but apparently when confronted, she breaks down to tears and says that she was charmed. She was charmed by the guy who came after her. Now, I don't know whether that is true. Maybe she fell for him and then he broke her heart, or he actually went to a voodoo guy and was like, I love this bitch, let that bitch be mine. And that's how it came to be. But yeah, but that scene, watching her walk across the park, laughing with this guy, having fun with this guy, it tore me apart on the inside. Because not only did I respect her decision, I chose to stay away from her so that I wouldn't make it awkward. Because every single time that I looked at her, we used to have these staring contests. I don't know whether she liked me too, but we could look and look and look, and we could stare in each other's eyes like so long, like a freaking Korean series, bro. Like it was just so good. And when she would look away, I'd feel so sad. And then I read somewhere that girls that like guys, or at least girls that like or at least girls that like you get shy around you, but she definitely wasn't shy. The way she stared into my soul was like, I can kill you if you get any ideas. So maybe that's the reason why she stared at me so long. All that time I thought that was love interest, probably was like just a suicidal or homicidal interest. Yeah, with me on the first list. Anyways, I have to also relinquish my love for her. We don't hear any rumors about her till we finish school, so that's great. But my story wasn't over. You know, I just resigned the whole love thing at that point. I was like, you know what? We ain't gonna chase after love no more. That shit's too much drama. And so we're living our simple life. We got friends, got friends in high places, right? Got one friend who's like the president of one of the religious groups in our school. My other friend who's also the president of the religious group that I attend. So it's like, I'm living my best life. I'm living my bougie shit. I also got my own post as a coordinator. It's like, shit, we're living life. Okay, we alright. We don't need this shit. We don't need those hoes. We don't love them hoes. We good. We eating good. Everything's great. And then a meteorite hit. And then the Fire Nation attacked. And then our entire world gets turned upside down because I wasn't paying attention to information anymore. As I said before, I was an information broker. There was a piece of information that was delayed towards me, and that was the fact that one guy in our group got jiggy with a girl, and the girl had a boyfriend, and the boyfriend was in a gang, and the gang, and the gang heard that the girl was getting chummy with some guy in our class. So during a break, they run upon him. Yeah, they they run upon him. They also get jiggy with it. They beat the shit out of him. They beat him bad. And I returned, and I'm still oblivious to this information. I have no idea what's going on. I'm just like, just trying to just stay through. Because the only reason why I went to the information broker business was that I got to keep tabs on Shine. And that did not work out because she, shining like the sun, she also like went off the radar. At least I put her off the radar because I didn't want her to be any focus of mine anymore. She was still beautiful from a mile away, but I would quickly slap my face and be like, get it together. And yeah, so we're just oblivious to this whole thing. So this girl, she's also going through her own turmoil. Her world around her is just exploding. Her gangster boyfriend goes to beat up her friend from work or school. And, because the boyfriend thought that there was something going on between those two. I don't know if there was. Considering the events that happened later, I can't say for sure. All right. But what happens is that, I'm a more of I love books, and the library was my sanctuary. It was my safe space. So I would always go there when it's prep time. In the evening, just go there, sit there, just inhale the fresh smell of books and just soak myself into whatever book I found on the shelf that looked interesting or had a cover that was like super cool. And we happened to chance upon our friend, one of the religious group leaders, the president. And he was like, okay, I got a friend. She's trying to hang. And I was like, okay, cool. You can bring her along. So we're just at the library. And I'm like so into my book. And then we get us off. I was out with other friends too. Another girl who's friend. I mean, she's a cool girl, but she's like bestie kind of friends. I don't know. Maybe that's why I also resorted to having girls who are just like good friends. It's like maybe the reason why I got them so much is because I resigned the idea of actually falling in love with a girl. Because I was like, it's not worth it. There's all this drama. Then they tell you that, So it's better just be friends with them. So I took that. And we get to that point where I start hanging out with this other girl, the one who was in the midst of all the drama. I didn't know at that time. So it kind of freaked me out when I found out. And she noticed. She noticed that I switched up. Like I was, oh my God, you're the girl that the gangster guy came to? Oh. And by that time it was too late because I had been talking to her. I had been talking to her in public. We've been going to the dining hall, which turned to prep place in the evenings. So it's like everyone knew that we hung out. And it even got scarier when it was like close to midnight. And she got me standing at a place which was notoriously known as Lover's Junction. The reason why it was called Lover's Junction is because the guys would come there and run their shit, like their smooth talk and everything there. They all their cons, every single thing that they do during courtship or relationships, they would do it over there. And I was making out, etc., etc. And here I am, a guy who technically avoided that part at all times, was just standing there talking to this girl about food and stuff like that. And I genuinely cared about her. I was like, oh my God, you've been through so much. You've lost some people in your life, loved ones, people you cared about. So it's like, oh, wow, 45 minutes, huh? I guess I am the god of yapping. Anyways, the point is, we realize that she is also in the same situation. She's in an insane situation, because she was sent to the disciplinary committee, and she had to answer for the reason why her boyfriend went stark raving lunatic levels. So at the end, they actually, they rusticated the dude, or at least I think they rusticated him, then brought him back to write the final West African examinations. And he was like completely gone, but he wasn't even allowed on school premises. But the thing was, he was a gangster, so he didn't give a shit. Sometimes he came to our dorm and stuff like that, but I always got scared because I was hanging around with this girl. And I guess you could say that I was kind of happy that I was the guy who got a gangster's girlfriend. But there's a reason why she was gotten. There's a reason why she was sought after. There was a reason. There was always a reason, right? Now, here's the thing. There was another. Oh yeah, and also side note, I was called Gaza 4. Now, yes, this is before the bombings and the wars in Israel. Now, Gaza, they called the gangster guy, Gaza 1, right? Okay, maybe I lost track of how many people. But yes, there was Gaza 1, there was Gaza 2, and there's Gaza 3. Yeah, I was Gaza 3. Because the first one was the one that beat number 2, and after number 2 abandoned her, I took their place. But there was a fourth one. He's the invisible Gaza, all right? He was the guy that she was actually in a relationship with, or at least he was the guy that she felt to at the time. And I was still scared about relationships and the idea of them. So even when she wanted me to come to some of the classrooms where we'd be alone together, I refused. I know. As every guy would probably tell you, that was a fucking stupid move, man. Why didn't you just get jiggy with it too? Why didn't you just smooch the bitch? Smooch! Get it over with. She probably loved that shit more than you. No, I resorted to creating stories inside my head that weren't even true rather than actually tolerate the actual thing happening. Because part of me was not certain about anything. I was freaking myself out every single time, and I wasn't ready to get my keister yanked up because of a girl. I don't know what that means, but... So there was another invisible Gaza. How did I know this? Because I saw it with my own eyes. Now, we're nearing the final moments of high school. We're getting prepared for the final examination that's going to get us into college and university and blah, blah, blah. And we're all a little bit on the edge, especially me, because now I have to throw away the facade and actually get serious, because I don't want all that money that was put into school to be waste. So what we do is that we get up early in the morning, And we don't sleep at all. It's like midnight, and I'm like, dang it, I gotta learn. I gotta get ready. Because, another exam is like tomorrow. And it was the final one, actually, the last one of the last one. My most hated subject, elective mathematics. And bro, it was crazy. It was crazy because I was on edge. It's like the last one. I don't want to fuck up the last one. It turns out that I actually even cheated in that one. They almost canceled it, but they didn't because my social studies teacher, again, came to save the day. So what happened is quite simple. It's quite simple. Also, chances are, if this ever gets down that line and it's going to be used as evidence, I'm drunk, high, and I have no idea what I'm saying. All this is a lie. Or is it? I might as well be a conspiracy theorist. Anyways, what happened was that I get up in the middle of the night, I brush my teeth, pour some water on my face, splash some water on my face, and then I bounce. Now, there are two sides to go. One side crosses the side of the park on the left side, and when you approach the dining hall from that side, anyone within that range of motion or that range of view would be able to see you coming. Now, the other side is cross the right side of the park, which goes into a dark alley and goes behind the visual arts classroom block, and then it comes. So like everyone within that range of view won't be able to see you because their backs are faced towards you. So I'm like, I take the right path, and I'm like going, just passing by all these freaky dark, shadowy figures, and just walking through. And I get there, and I get to the information board, where they post information about whether positions or like announcements, they put them all there. And I'm just standing there, getting ready to walk in. I see two people snogging on my left. Now, I think, okay, it's great. It's weird, but it's great, It's great that they can actually, but the thing was, they were really confident because there was no one else on campus. And I'm talking watchmen that decided to take a break. The campus was only populated by those in their last year writing the final exams, And so the place is basically empty. No one is there. Lights are out. Everyone's asleep. It's the middle of the night. So unless, of course, you're a witch, there's no way you'd be walking around at that time. So they were snogging close to the information board. And I'm there, right there, and I see it. I don't want to make noise, but the moment I step off the information board, there's gravels on the ground. I'd have to be like a fucking ninja to be able to be silent at that premise. So they hear it, they look at me, and she instantly says my name. And I turn around, it's like, oh my God, hey, you're here. So I pretend I didn't see them kiss. And I'm like, okay, I'm going there. She said she's on the follow-up too. It's like, great, love that for you. And I just walk in there and I'm freaking out. I don't know if my heart was breaking or just like not able to make sense of anything, but I was just conflicted as to what I saw. But then I had to realize it was a lie. It was an absolute lie. Everything that we shared, all the time that I enjoyed spending with her, was just ruse, cover. So it was a cover so that she could hide the actual guy. So I was supposed to be like the smear, the painting that covered the true mural, which was her infidelity. And it broke me because I was just contemplating this entire thing as she was just tongue deep into the guy. And I guess I was not hurt. I guess you could say I didn't feel anything at that time. It just felt like, called it. I knew this was going to happen. You know what? We knew this was going to happen. We knew it. We saw it coming from a mile away. We tried to tell him to stop. He did not. And now look at where we are. So I was completely aware, and I felt it in my bones. So here I am, just sitting there, thinking, why did I even bother to tolerate her, to be around her, to give her comfort, to always try and show up for her if this was the end game? And then I also thought about it again. Why wasn't I the person who was snogging her on that information board? Because, if anything, she gave me the opportunity to do that, and even more. But I was too chicken. And I'm like, oh, so it's my fault. It's your fault he's dead. Do you deny it? Then you're guilty. So I was guilty. So I kind of felt like I was to blame too, because of the fact that there were opportunities where she gave me the chance to smooch, to be that one. But I was too scared to take that shot because I didn't want to stain my soul. I wanted to keep it as pure. Because, do you know the reason why? Now, some people would say, okay, it's chicken. There's a reason why it doesn't go. Because I was still a Christian. Now, I know what you're going to say. Oh my God, you want to be holy for God? Oh my God. No, because I knew I was committing sins too. I knew I was lying, I was stealing, I was being cocky, I was doing a lot of bad shit. So, in my mind, in my young mind, I was thinking, when we die and we go and get judged, my leverage would be my virginity. So I'd be like, God, I know I did a lot of bad shit, but I haven't smashed it. I haven't smashed anyone. I haven't smashed no one. Never touched pussy. Ever. Okay, I'm clean. So, maybe, you can let me go on account of me being a virgin. That is like literally the only reason why I was doing that. Like, it sounds like cap. It feels like cap. More circumstances than not, like you would say that is a cap. But you see, the thing is, I wanted to hold on to something that would give me at least a simple feel. I just wanted to be close to the right, but not so immersed into it. And you could call it, that was the only thing I was holding on to. So I would thwart girls' advances on me when they were making a move. I'd not be there. They'd text me and say, where are you? Can I come here? I didn't. There are others, but we're gonna cut it short today because we're going for a full hour. And if I've been told anything, I'm only supposed to train these windpipes for like at least 5 minutes, and I did 200%, 300% of that, and that's not right. But so we're gonna call it a day. Thank you so much for listening. This is a long one, so I don't expect you to like finish it all in one sitting. If you did, you need to follow me then. The thing is, I'm still developing myself to a point where I can say all of this on camera. But till that day comes, you're gonna get this. Well, at least it's gonna make it easier for me. At least I don't have to run lines, okay? But thank you guys so much for listening. I really do appreciate it. I hope you guys have a fantastic evening. Till next time, bye.